The airtime for this broadcast has been made available to Mr. Michael Levinson by New Hampshire Public Television in accordance with the requirements of the law.
I'm on? Hey, we made it. What it said on the screen at the opening was that by law, I could be here. The law is a candidate has the right to ask for time, and the general public, you, have the right to be informed. I asked for a whole evening because I would like to spend a whole evening with you, and I believe you owe it to yourselves to spend a whole evening with anyone who would be the president of USA. What separates me from all the other candidates is that I wrote this book. It's hard to see it on the thing, and it's all hand-lettered in double columns, and I'm capable to sing, chant, or say the whole book from cover to cover. Now, I'd just like to show you just a little bit of it so that you understand where I'm coming from. I begin with the story of Adman and Even. One day, God's son was standing around. See, all the words are spelled the way they sound, so that it's not stand, it's Stan, because it's Stan's story, Don's, Harry's, Phil's, it's everybody's story, the story of creation. One day, God's son was standing around, got punched in the side, cried, "Wah!" Turned round, she said, "Hiya, my name is Ka. Say, what is yours?" He said, Adman. She said, Even. God said, Adman, Ka's cut from your rib. She's your mate to kid, but stay off her head. Don't jump on the little kid's head. Adman obeyed, cause God was his dad. God was his dad. If I could tell you the whole story of Adman and Even, which takes 7 minutes, you'd know a lot. Okay, it's a book of living prophecy. Let's look. Ruskies don't gossip. Guys and God, suppers and supper. They does what they feels. You should have got hip. Day loves to eavesdrop. Did the Korean plane go down in the night? Did they shoot some guy in the daytime in East Germany? Of course. As world events unfold, it turns out they were written down in advance. Let's see if we can find the ozone layer. All this carbon monoxide in the air. Brother, you ain't got athlete's feet. You roastin', polar ice caps gonna meld in. You gonna get a steam bath. God is the wind in, the river is life. Thought is a beacon that lights the way. Alaska is last your roof will cave in. Your roof, the Earth's roof is the ozone layer. It isn't caving in, it's merely leaking and disintegrating. Well, we'll go on. Oh, I really like this. This is George Wallace. He gets a shot in the back. Okay, I'm gold run on tongue from dusk until dawn, telling you of bad deal in American lands. First old Whitehead, Washington defeated the redcoats. Cherry Topper couldn't tell a no soul. The Marquis de Lafayette gave him a hand, screwing Cornwallis here in our land. George get screwed? Yeah. Okay, there's a lot in here. Nixon is described leaving the White House. Agnew's a tragic hero over money. Wallace gets a shot in the back. There are very, very many world events that were written down in advance of them happening. And I wrote this book, and I spent 10 months, 12 hours a day writing it, so that if you spend 10 months, 12 hours a day reading it, then you could ask me, but you could ask me anyway. You read the book out loud. You slip around and slide back into the ancient tongues you spoke in the lives you lived before. On this one last page here, it says here, oh yeah, I can read between the lines. The law of the land shall stand. The Constitution shall be rewritten. Not the Constitution. The Constitution is fine. It should have been lettered, like the Ten Commandments. It was written, there's loopholes, but it's okay. What needs to be rewritten is the Code of Federal Regulations. This is why we have 5,000 cases in the United States Supreme Court, because of the Code of Federal Regulations. The code should be rewritten. Civil procedures, a lot of stuff. So, Kevin, come here, I need you. Okay. I'm going to have him read as I point. All right, good. Okay?
And the veil shall be uplifted. I'm the Messiah.
You are? Golly, I always wanted to meet somebody important. Gee, get going. Take a walk. Okay. So, a spoken poem for all mankind, written and designed for 3.5 or 4 or 5 billion people to see, listen to, and be a part of all at once. And that's why I wrote that book. Now, let's see, we got to move along here. The Contras, big deal, the Contras. What we need to do is pass a law that says any country that wants to learn to speak an American lingo, a language spoken around the world already, and practice democratic principles can vote themselves, like Puerto Rico, a commonwealth. First step towards statehood. It will take these nations down in Central America and other third world peoples 20 years to do all that. But right now, In the mind's eye of all these people, they dream of coming to America. America is the place where they want to come. A guy earning $3 a month would love to earn $3 or $4 in a restaurant working, washing dishes, or whatever it would be. So these people dream of America. Now, suppose that a program like this was going on, and we had a statute that said that, and we played it in a Spanish overvoice from the C-SPAN while the Congress was discussing it, and it played in Central America, and you were cleaning you were picking the bananas in the fields or wherever in the forest, and some guy stuck his head through the brush, and he said, "Here, I got a Kalashnikov rifle, let's go make revolution, we'll shoot down the telephone pole." You would say to him, "No, we're learning American lingo, and we're reading Thomas Jefferson, and we're practicing democracy at the village level." And that's what it's all about. As far as communism, capitalism, it isn't communist or capitalist, it's commonwealth, the name of every street and every town in America. When Gorbachev came here, even Vladimir Posner was saying, "Oh, capital." It's capitalist structures that make the standard of living in this world raise up. And the Russians, they need to raise the standard as much as we need to raise the standard. So my program for the Contra is a simple statute. That's going to do it. It's going to wipe out communist insurgency. That's what we want to end, is communist insurgency. Okay, the Contras. Let's see, microeconomics. My idea is that we want to build 10,000 clipper ships to carry our wheats and our grains and our packaged goods all over the world. The thing about a clipper ship, it'll sail 25, 26, 28 knots. The world merchant fleet today only goes 15 knots. So clipper ships is tremendous for the lumber industry in the far west, in the northeast in Maine, and all the sail making and all the winches and all the entry-level jobs it creates. And of course the ships, it's a jobs program. I'm a registered Republican, but my programs are very democratic. Actually, when you talk about world peace, which is why I am here, the candidate with the program for world peace, it becomes our achievement. It's not Democrats or Republicans, it's all of us, Americans. The world looks for a leader. Americans feel all men are equal. Where's my pen? Equal. Leaders come forward. They have clear heads, begin in log cabins, write their own speeches, make a lot of sense, and don't raise their voices. So the world looks for a leader. The leader is here. All right, we build the clipper ships. They pay for themselves carrying the cargo. Well, what about the labor on the ships? Well, my idea is to have a lot of college students getting the first 2 years of their education with video cassette technology and examinations proctored by the captains. Here's microeconomics. The ship lands in El Salvador. The 40 kids go ashore, the crew, the younger people, whoever they are, and they search out in the suburbs where the poorest people live, where they're making the wicker chairs and the furniture and everything else. Then they go back to the ship, they discuss everything that they've seen up the street, they get $100 or $200 in $5 and $10 bills from the captain, they go back, they buy all the wicker furniture, they buy goods from the poorest people, they bring it back to the ship, they bring it to America, it gets sold in the docks, we get our money back, we've infused the lower end of the economies over there. That's microeconomics. That's my program. Acid rain. We have to shut down all the steel plants on the Great Lakes and build one major complex in Labrador with our Canadian cousins where all the ore is. Shut down the Great Lakes, shut down the Ohio River Basin, and build clipper ships. There's tons of work to be done in this country. Okay, we build one major complex in Labrador. We'll be exporting steel all over the world. We bring our own ore from the Mesabi Range up the St. Lawrence Seaway to Labrador. We buy some of the Canadian ore. The money to build a complex like I'm talking about is available on Wall Street tomorrow morning. It's a matter of leadership to say this is what we should do. Somebody in Texas, they built a brand new steel plant a few years ago. They're making tons of money because we'd be way ahead of the Swedes and everyone else. In fact, whether you stamp it USS or Bethlehem, a girder is a girder and you can only steal so much. So that's as far as like what do we got to do for work.